It's now time, ladies and gentlemen, for the big story. It's 5 minutes after 7 o'clock, and you might have heard about it by now. A devastating car crash occurred on the P.J. Patterson Highway in Jamaica, resulting in the loss of 4 lives, including an 8-year-old boy. The victims were identified as Taisha Manhertz, Wendy Lammy, Andre McLeish, and Trey Stewart, all from Kingston 7 addresses. Very, very sad one on the past weekend. This morning, we want to focus on what's happening on our roads, in particular with all these road fatalities. And joining me at this time is the Vice Chairman of the National Road Safety Council, the NRSC, Dr. Lucien Jones. Good morning and welcome, Dr. Jones. How are you?
Good morning, Mr. B. Good morning to your listeners. I'm fine, thanks.
Thank you so much for joining us. What information can you share with us from what the police are saying? Any information whatsoever in relation to the accident that we're speaking of, Doc?
Well, to put it very briefly, on Sunday morning at about, I think, 12:30, 1 o'clock, a car with 11 persons was being driven along the East-West Highway. The car crashed, and during the process of getting people out of the car, another car ran into the crash car, which was upside down, I gather, and killed the 4 people that we have been talking about, and including the driver, and a number of people were injured. I think one is battling for his life. So all 11 were taken to the hospital, and I'm not sure how many were admitted, but we know at least one is seriously injured. So there are several questions that we need to focus on, several issues. One is why did we have 11 persons in one car when cars are licensed to carry only 5? And it is not the first time, hopefully to be the last time, that we have witnessed this. Many of us in Jamaica see it happening every day with adults and school children being transported in these pro boxes as taxis and other cars. And when the door opens, I use the word disgorge because that's one of the things I can describe it. A whole set of people are disgorged from these taxis. And there's a practice of putting them in the back, which is not meant for people to be traveling.
You mean like what we'd call it the trunk?
The trunk. So we have a whole set of Jamaicans who are intent on breaking the law, both in terms of the drivers who know they're not supposed to do this, but they're hustling, and people who are wanting to get to work early, and children want to get to school, so they comply and put their lives at risk. So this is one very key issue out of this. Why did we have 11 people in one car? That's one issue. The second issue is that, as would be expected, when you have so many people in one car, it becomes very unstable. It's difficult to drive. And the initial reports are that speeding was involved, so the car crashed. The second issue, of course, is the speeding issue, but in respect of the car which crashed and the other car which crashed into the crash car.
Yeah.
Whether or not there was speeding in excess of the 110 which is allowed on that road, is something for the police to determine in terms of further investigation. But when you look at the mangled state of the Pro Box and the state of the Benz, that car was coming at quite a speed. Now, why did the driver see the person? Well, it was dark, but cars are equipped with lights, so you're supposed to have all your lights. And you should be able to see a reasonable distance ahead of you. and take evasive action. But we are speculation, we don't know. So those are questions that need to be asked and answered in further investigation.
Yes.
But I mean, the whole thing is also tragic. To lose 4 people at one time, a little boy, a young girl, a mother and a son, it is absolutely horrendous.
It really is.
And
it really
brings into very sharp focus the need for us as a country. And no, crime and violence is the number one issue. But road fatalities is the second leading cause of violent death in the country. And in the same way the country has been mobilized to deal with murder, it's the same way we have been asking for a long time. For the entire country, not just government and the private sector, civil society, and all persons need to come on and seem to be on deck to deal with this devastation, which is robbing the nation and families of lives. They are just gone far too soon, as the song says.
Yes.
And people, another song, you know what I'm saying? People understand reach home safe.
Mm-hmm.
Damon Marley's song about this. Reach home safe. We need to get this into our culture, into our heads. Let's try and reach home safe. And there are things you have to do to reach home safe. You have to slow down on the roads, respect the speed limits. You have to wear your seatbelts. You have to remember the law that you cannot use your cell phone and drive, distracted driving. You can't be drinking alcohol or smoking marijuana and driving. Mm-hmm. All of these things we need to remember constantly. You need to put on your helmet when you're a motorcyclist. As a pedestrian, you need to cross the road carefully. So these are things that, and we need cameras. We need cameras in every part, in every road. We need cameras on the highways. We need cameras on the byways. You can't have a policeman on every corner. And some people are just determined to break the law. So we need more cameras so we can see what is happening and warn people. There's a system whereby you can put a camera at the beginning of the highway, another one at the end of the highway, and you can measure average speed by that. And if you reach the end of the highway quicker than you're supposed to, then you get a ticket.
Yeah.
We just need to find a way to get people to slow down.
Well, this is it, and I'm trying to figure out now. When things like these happen, do you go back to the drawing board? Do you have meetings with the law enforcement agencies to improve road safety?
All of the above. Of the above. Mm-hmm. And it's not only when these things happen. Before these things happen, it's a constant issue. I remember I said, we need the whole country need to be mobilized, absolutely mobilized to deal with this thing in the same way we're dealing with murder. So we have been having discussions for months and for years. And one of the clear things that come out of this, that we need cameras on the road. We need cameras on the highways. We need more police, yes, but you may not get that. But if you don't get that, you need cameras. We need to have a public education campaign. I think that one is coming up soon. Mm-hmm. Several on a constant basis to remind people how to use the roads. We need to fix the issue at the Island Traffic Authority where, as we all know, people can have their cars passed and they don't down the doors of that institution. They can get license without going there to drive. So all kinds of things are happening.
Yes.
And it will result in very careless driving, and it will result in very shocking results that we saw yesterday.
Dr. Jones, what would you say are some of the long-term goals of the NRSC in terms of reducing road fatalities, and how will whatever progress made be measured?
Well, our program is something which had been recommended because of the data by the World Health Organization. It's called a Safe Systems Approach, where you try and promote 5 things: safe roads, safe road users, safe vehicles, safe speeds, and an efficient post-crash system. And our goal is to get the number down to about 212 based on the WHO's declaration for the decade of road safety 2020 to 2030. To cut the figure by half. So our base figure was 440. So we need to get them about 220. That's our target. That's our goal. In terms of how we get there, we go back to the safe systems. We need to have safe speeds that people need. That's the number one priority. That people need to slow down. How you slow down? Effective police action. How you slow down? You pass the laws. We have a new Road Traffic Act, so that's a big step. Mm-hmm. How you slow down, you make sure that the ticketing system and the demerit point system is working efficiently. We have made huge strides in the ticketing system, primarily on account of the electronic means of writing tickets that removes a lot of the mistakes and allows the thing to move through the system very quickly. So the courts are producing warrants very efficiently now. People need to be warned that if you don't pay when you get a ticket, if you don't go to the court and defend yourself, then a warrant can be issued for your arrest. And if police pick you up on a Friday, you're going to be in jail for the weekend. Mm-hmm. The system is much more efficient now. The demerit point system is still a struggle. There are some issues in it in terms of points being attached to your license, and if you exceed the points, your license can be suspended. That system, I believe, is back on track now. So that's something else that people need to be aware of. How you get people to slow down. Use cameras. Put up a lot of cameras all over the place, mm-hmm. so you can identify people who are speeding. You can issue a ticket electronically and bring people to book. So those are some of the things
it sounds like an injection of capital is needed in order to achieve all of these objectives.
Both capital and policy.
Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. No, you're right. They're quite right.
Yes.
Capital and policy.
They have to go hand in hand. I'd like to commend the police for what they're doing. I want to say condolences to the families that are mourning right now. We feel your pain, and please, motorists, you've heard a lot of information, useful information from Dr. Jones this morning. Take heed. Your parting shot before I play that Damien Junagong Marley song. What do you want to leave with us this morning, Doc?
Well, you can't get any better than that, Richie. Just reach home safe.
Reach home safe.
Just put it in your mind that you're going on a very dangerous road. Don't skylark. Don't skate on the toll. Mm-hmm. Just try and reach home safe. You beat in your mind that video, people are streaming video and driving. It's madness. Crazy. Yeah, mm-hmm. They're still using a cell phone. I see people with a cell phone in their hand still after the law has been passed.
Wow.
So we just need to have a culture in this country where we are determined to reach home safe.
We are prepared to assist you in whatever way we can going forward. Thank you, Dr. Jones, and have a good day.
Thank you very much, man. Appreciate it.
All the best.